Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I am back with extremely exciting news, and I do mean that very sincerely. Radiant Pokémon are back. Radiant Gardevoir has gone and been revealed from Dark Phantasma Sword and Shield 10A over in Japan. And believe me when I say, the reveal of this Radiant Pokémon is a very big deal indeed. The reason it's such a big deal is because I was chatting with a few people on Twitter last night, you may or may not have seen it, over on the Wassy, and basically, Radiant Pokémon were hanging on a bit by a thread. Because what we had was over in Battle Region, we had the debut of Radiant Pokémon. We had Greninja, which was really good, Hawlucha, which was really good, and Heatran, which I'm going to be honest is the weakest of the three, but it's still kind of useful. And it also showed us that if these Radiant Pokemon are going to be really good, chances are they're going to have an ability. Yes, Gardevoir does have an ability. More on that in a moment. But then we had Sword and Shield 10, Space Juggler and Time Gazer. Incidentally, I've done openings of both those, one box of each set on my channel. Do go and check them out. One of the boxes was really good. The other wasn't quite as good, but it was still fun. You should check it out. I like doing openings. And if you don't watch the openings, and I can't do as many openings, and that makes me sad. So yeah, go check them out. But the point is, we had that double set. No Radiant Pokemon to be seen. But of course, Sword and Shield 10, Space Juggler and Time Gazer is a main set. And Battle Region, Sword and Shield 9A is an A set, a mini set, a subset. Call it what you will. So, one of two things was happening. Either Radiant Pokemon were done, we just got those random free and they were never seen again, or Radiant Pokemon are just coming in subsets, not main sets, and now that we've seen Radiant Gardevoir coming in here, that is a very strong prediction. Not a guarantee, but a very strong prediction. It is worth noting, it is very likely that what we will get is 3 Radiant Pokemon in this set, like in Battle Region, and it's likely that they will be 1 per box, and that basically does 2 things. It means that by the time we get to the end of the Sword and Shield block later on in the year, we should have had a Radiant Pokemon of every type, because remember, Amazing Rares, we ended up with 1 of every type, and it also means that essentially 3 boxes will get you all of the Radiant Pokemon if you don't double up. That's what they did with Battle Region. It was quite nice. I bought 2 boxes of Battle Region. I got different Radiant Pokemon. I'm buying the last one as a single. Life is good. As a side note, Battle Region, not including Secret Rares, you basically could buy 2 boxes and complete the set, minus 1 Radiant Pokemon, and maybe buying a couple cards if you got unlucky. Point is, nice and easy to complete the set. That is lovely. I'll be getting a couple boxes of Dark Phantasma and really crossing my fingers that I don't get the same Radiant Pokemon in both boxes, because then I've got to go and buy 2 singles and that's a bit sad. So yeah, Radiant Pokemon are back, and this is a very, very big deal, because what it means is that we should expect 3 of them in the mini sets from now on. They are carrying on, and we should expect to see more of them, and as someone who's quite a big fan of them, I love this, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love this. So, what have we got? Well, we have an ability, like I mentioned before, translations, of course, from the lovely Antoine Boulet, who may not be in Japan anymore, but is still our favourite Japanese translator. And the ability says, your Pokemon take 20 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V's attacks. It's clearly great. Now, one thing that must be remembered here, these Radiant Pokemon are limited to 1 per deck, and that is 1 of any type. So you can play Radiant Greninja, but you can only play 1, and if you're playing Radiant Greninja, you can't play Radiant Hawlucha or Radiant Greninja. You're not allowed. Gardevoir is the only one you're allowed to go for. Sorry about that. And you know what? This is cool. This is really, really cool. It might only be a damage reduction of 20, but that is going to build up over time. Because what we can do is we can combine this with a bunch of other stuff. So clearly, right, if you're a Fusion Strike deck, you've got your Oricorio. And Oricorio says that your Fusion Strike Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks. So now you get Radiant Gardevoir. Incidentally, if I accidentally say Radiant Greninja instead of Radiant Gardevoir, please forgive me. You'll know by context who I mean. If you've got these both out, you now take 40 less damage from Pokemon V. And that can be pretty gosh darned exciting. Because if you take something like, let's take Mew V Max copying Genesect as a nice example. Because right now in the format, Mew V Max copying Genesect it's something you're going to see fairly often. So generally speaking, they are doing 210, which is enough to KO a bunch of Pokemon V. Now all of a sudden that 210 goes down to 170. Now let's say you are a Genesect. All of a sudden, they've gone from 210 down to 170. They're no longer getting a KO. And sure, they can use a choice band to get a KO, but that's not the point, ladies and gentlemen. The point is you're forcing them to have it. A card that doesn't see a huge amount of play right now, how about Pot Helmet? Pot Helmet says that if you don't have a rule box, you take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So now you combine Pot Helmet and Gardevoir, and all of a sudden you're taking 50 less damage from attacks. Now this is for non-rule box Pokemon, single prize Pokemon, maybe that's still not enough. But I'm saying that there's going to be a bunch of times where this is going to get you a whole bunch closer. And if you're using Radiant Gardevoir, you should consider pairing it with something like Pot Helmet, like Oricorio, to really start making a difference. And if you've played Fusion Strike decks, you've probably played with Oricorio. And I'm telling you right now, there are many games where that 20 damage reduction from Oricorio is huge. Absolutely huge. This is that, but for everyone, but only Pokemon V. Remember, V does include V Max and V Star, but also remember that it doesn't include your single prize Pokemon, and I like this, single prize Pokemon should be getting an advantage. That should not be a controversial statement. I like this ability is where I'm going with this. Oricorio showed us how impactful 20 less can be, but there are a whole bunch of things with which we can combine it and really start making a bit of headway here, which is really rather lovely. I could mention Crystal Cave that lets you heal 30 from each of your Metal or Dragon Pokemon every turn, or Galarian Chestplate, which reduces damage done by 30 from anything, but only if you're a Galarian Pokemon. Things of that nature would be good. And actually, I need to give a shout out to my boy Goodra I talked about a little bit earlier, because Goodra, of course, has an attack to V-Star, which means you take 80 less damage from attacks next turn. Well, here, you'd be taking 100 less damage from Pokemon V, and you've got the healing with Crystal Cave. That is not to be sniffed at. I told you in the Goodra video, if you can avoid one-hit KOs, you are good. This is really going to help you avoid one-hit KOs, which means it's clearly very good. But there is an attack here as well. We're not hugely excited, but it's there. Psychic, double colourless, 70 damage, plus 20 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. And this isn't too bad. Against something like an Urshifu, for instance, Single Strike Urshifu. Now, admittedly, Single Strike Urshifu is not the powerhouse it used to be, but go follow PokeStats on Twitter, you'll see it popping up here and there. That generally needs like 4 energy to really make some hay. The big attack is a 4 energy attack. Well, that means you're doing 150, and you're hitting for weakness, which is nice. It actually still doesn't quite get the KO, but a choice bout will put you over the limit. Against Rapid Strike Urshifu, they're rarely going to have that many on. They'll sometimes have 3 for G-Max Rapid Flow, but then they can discard 2 of them. If you catch them with 3, then you're doing 130, doubled to 260. It's not quite enough, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. But you can get some decent KOs here. In terms of the energy requirement, don't forget the Shadow Rider Calyrex is still very much a thing, and that will accelerate the energy over there. Or in the early game, we've still got Cresselia, which can accelerate a whole bunch of energy, and it's only 1 Psychic and 2 Colourless, so that's quite nice. Most of the time here, putting free energy on a Pokemon that's only got 130 HP is a bit of a problem, and you're still only getting KOs really when you're talking about weakness, and even then you're not always hitting the numbers, and it's a bit awkward. It's a nice bonus, but let's be clear, if you're using Radiant Greninja, you're using it for the ability. But that's fine. People love Hawlucha, and Hawlucha's ability does 30 more to Pokemon V Max. That's it. Sees a bunch of play. People are playing Greninja largely for the ability that lets you discard an energy card from your hand to draw 2 cards. this is fine. The two best Pokemon, the Radiant Pokemon so far, have been largely played for their ability. This one will be as well. I have no issue. It's a 4-Wossy card, and honestly, this might end up being a little bit low. This is good. My only real question is, am I going to play it over Greninja or Hawlucha? And the answer is, in some games, absolutely. But is it going to be often enough to make it great? That's a question only time will tell. The most important thing, honestly, here is that Radiant Pokemon are back. This Radiant Greninja isn't just good for the ability, it's also good because it tells us there are almost certainly 2 more in this set, and then 2 more in the next subset, mini-set, call it what you will in Japan, and that means they're here. And okay, fine, the existence of Hawlucha and Greninja tells us we're probably, unfortunately, not getting a Mamoswine. And to be fair, because we've got Hawlucha, we're probably also not getting Donphan. But you never know. Colourless Porygon? I'll take that, ladies and gentlemen. Or Colourless Beware? That would also be quite nice. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.